Mayor, members of the council, the meeting is now being live streamed.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. The meeting will now reconvene at 6:05 p.m. City Attorney, please provide the closed session report.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The City Council is now back in open session, having met in closed session to discuss the item listed on the agenda. Staff provided a report, but no reportable action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. City Attorney, if there's no objection by the City Council, I will adjourn the closed session City Council meeting at 6:05 p.m. and open the City Council Successor Agency Community Development Commission meeting coming to order at 6:05 p.m. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. If any member should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you're recusing yourself from due to the conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. Tonight's invocation will be led by Pastor Leal, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Cameron Vargas, Girl Scout Troop 2543.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, and Councilwoman, and all the staff. It's always a great pleasure and honor to be here and to lead you in prayer, and to all of our citizens. Invites are here. Thank you for being here. Just want to let you guys know, all of you, that you're in our prayers. The Bible says that we should pray for those that are in leadership. And we certainly understand that God has put you, each one of you, in leadership. So you know that our church prays for all of you. So let us pray. And remember, as we pray, if you can come to your feet, please. We come into the presence of God, and let us bow our heads. Father, we just want to thank you for each one of the leaders you have assigned to the city. Thank you for the mayor, the staff, each councilman and councilwomen, Father, our chief, and each one of the employees, each one of the department heads that do such a great job. Father, we ask that you guide us, Father. Your Bible says that you honor those that honor you, and we cannot honor you if you don't lead us. So please be with us in this meeting. Father, may your presence be guiding each one of the speakers, and especially our leaders. We give them in your hands, Father. May you guide him, and we ask this in the precious name of Jesus. And can we say amen? Thank you.
Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Thank you for that. City Clerk, please call roll the City Council.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency, Barcena. Councilwoman Guillen.
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Present.
And Mayor Chavez.
Present. Thank you for that. We will now move on to presentation. City Manager, please introduce the presentation.
Thank you, Mayor Chavez. The first item we have tonight is a certificate of recognition for Golosa Bakery, and I will turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. City Manager. If the owner of Golosa Bakery is here, Silvia, sí, señora Silvia, se puede venir aquí al frente, por favor. What I have right here is the certificate of recognition. Ahí al frente del micrófono, por favor. Certificate of recognition on behalf of the City of Bell Gardens honoring Golosa Bakery and Cookies. And it states, the Bell Garden City Council is honored to recognize Golosa Bakery and Cookies and congratulate you on your exceptional success and commitment to quality. As you expand your well-established business into our community, we are thrilled to welcome you and applaud your passion to enrich not only the local flavor, but also the spirit of our community. We celebrate your continued growth and are excited to see the positive impact you will have in Bell Gardens. And I also do have a bit of details from Silvia that I know we were able to gather initially about her experience and how long she's been here and stuff. Pero before that, I just want to say thank you, señora Silvia, por estar aquí en nuestra comunidad. Gracias por participar. And I want you to know that on behalf of the City Council, we are very happy to have you here in our city, located on Ira and Clara, which is a new business. Tan nuevecitos. So bienvenidos aquí en la ciudad. Antes de que le pueda pasar la palabra a usted, quiero pasar la palabra a mis colegas si quieren decir unas palabras. If anybody wants to speak, this is your moment just to share your congratulations and welcoming them to the city as well. So at this moment, anybody can make a comment.
Gracias y bienvenida, y lo que podamos hacer por usted.
Sí. Muy bienvenida a la ciudad de Bell Gardens. Ya que se acerca la temporada del frío, ya me voy a frecuentar más frecuente allí. Y muchas gracias. Y quería preguntarle cuál es su, su pan favorito o cuál nos recomienda.
Difícil. Croissants,
Croissants, ya saben,
el
los croissants.
bolillo,
El bolillo.
la concha,
Nice.
oh,
No
y
se me
la
antojó.
galletita,
Sí,
las galletitas.
muchas gracias.
No, gracias a ustedes.
gracias por-
Bienvenidos.
Gracias,
Bien. Ah, qué
Ujú.
bien.
Esta galletita, ¿verdad?
Sí,
Sí.
Ah,
la galletita que está desde el año 2011 aquí en la ciudad. Bueno, es como compañía nada más,
Gracias.
para distribución afuera. Ah,
Francis, Marco.
Solo quiero decir gracias por tener su negocio aquí en la ciudad de Bell Gardens. Y a mí me gustan los roles de canela con nueces. Están muy buenos. Y no la quiero apresurar, pero sí me gustaría ver más como café, diferentes bebidas. ¿Ya empezaron o todavía no?
no, pero estamos esperando el
Sí,
tiempo.
porque queremos traer más gente para que disfruten de su pan y con un cafecito.
Que eso es lo que estamos
Excelente.
esperando, ¿verdad? Primeramente Dios.
Muchas
Estamos
gracias.
buscando despacito para
Pues en lo que podamos nosotros
darles
ayudar.
sorpresa, ¿verdad?
Estamos aquí para ustedes y gracias por ser parte de nuestra comunidad de negocios locales.
No, les agradezco también a ustedes sus atenciones y al mayor también, muy amable.
Gracias por tener su negocio aquí en la ciudad con nosotros. Es negocios como ustedes que ayudan a nuestra comunidad. Entonces, gracias por estar aquí y que tenga mucho éxito también.
Primeramente Dios así sea.
Por último, nomás quiero compartir un poquito de su historia. Cuando antes de pasárselo la palabra a mis colegas, estaba buscando en mi correo cuando le marcaron temprano, pero empezó esto en Baldwin Park, en Buena Park.
La galleta comenzó en Buena Park
Buena Park.
en el 2000,
¿En el cuál año?
2000, por ahí así, más o menos.
Sí, yo aquí tengo el ensayo que dice, todo comenzó en un pequeño apartamento en Buena Park, donde usted y su esposo o- horneaban galletas, tenían
Sí.
su propio setup.
Bueno, sí, bueno, usted sabe, uno trata de hacer algo.
Sí, sí,
siempre.
no, no.
Uno como
Am,
mexicano siempre se las ingenia, ¿verdad?
Muy bien, no, así somos,
Para
mexicanos.
buscar la manera, ¿verdad? Ajá.
Yeah.
Pero eso venía de mi esposo, eso viene de mi esposo, de su mamá, Nayarit. Ujú.
Wow. No, pues, felicidades.
Bendito sea Dios que aquí pudimos hacerlo.
Gracias.
No,
Ah,
ustedes.
Por último, nomás quería leer lo demás. Con el tiempo, ese negocio se expandió y empezaron a distribuir. Llegaron a Bell Gardens en 2010 y continuaron distribuyendo, pero usted tenía la visión de abrir una panadería. En mayo de 2025, que fue hace que 3, 4 meses, Golosa Bakery nació. Usted y su esposo Manuel y sus socios de negocio son inmigrantes de México. Usted compartió que el trabajo es duro, pero les ha brindado muchas oportunidades de convertirse en dueños de un negocio pequeño y poder compartir su pasión por dar postres y pan. Y pues por eso le estamos dando este reconocimiento. Esperemos que sigan expandiendo, que no más, Bell Gardens es su hogar y es la primera. Pero de nuevo le queremos gracias por tener Bell Gardens en su corazón y quiero que sepan que de parte de aquí todos nosotros estamos a favor y le agradecemos por las galletitas. Lo que les pido a mis colegas, ahorita es que ahorita que si nos vamos a tomar la foto, si nos llevamos la galletita.
Claro que sí.
Si todavía no se la han comido.
Ah,
Pero
les traje unas conchitas
¿Eh?
también, pero
Dice-
estas, bueno, esas yo creo que las vamos a tener que partir en pedacitos para que las prueben.
¿verdad? Sí, pero igual nos trajo también una cajita con diferentes
Bueno, no, son conchitas.
son conchitas. Muchas gracias de nuevo.
Bueno, algo dije, para que lo prueben,
Muchas gracias.
¿verdad?
Ok.
Gracias.
All right. Thank you for that, City Manager. Moving on to the next item, proclamation of National Hispanic Heritage Month. All right, the City of Bell Gardens proclamation, a proclamation in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas the City of Bell Gardens takes pride in recognizing and celebrating September 15th and October 15th in 2025 as National Hispanic Heritage Month, which highlights the historical and present contributions of Hispanic Americans to American society and culture, and the National Hispanic Heritage Month, established in 1968 and expanded in 1988, provides an annual opportunity to celebrate the rich history, enduring resilience, and diverse contributions of Hispanic and Latino communities throughout the United States. Each year, the United States observes National Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the culture, heritage, and countless contributions of those whose ancestors were indigenous in North America, as well as those who came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. And Hispanic and Latino Americans have served our country in the past and continue to serve in significant and enduring ways today. And the vital contributions of Hispanic and Latino communities enrich our nation, fostering cultural diversity, economic growth, and political progress. They are leaders, activists, innovators, educators, healthcare professionals, and creators whose influence transcends generations and shapes the collective American history. And the United States cities, states, and communities are vibrant with the names, traditions, and legacies of Hispanic heritage, many of which reflect a deep and ongoing cultural connection that enhances our national fabric. And the people of Hispanic descent come to make invaluable contributions in the cultural, educational, social, and economic vitality of the City of Bell Gardens, California, Los Angeles County, and the United States, helping to guide our nation towards a more inclusive, equitable, and prosperous future. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025, a Hispanic Heritage Month, and encourage all residents of Bell Gardens to celebrate and honor the rich diversity of the Latino community and celebrate the many ways they contribute to our nation and society. Proclaim this eighth day of September 2025, Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, along with the Bell Gardens City Council. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next item, National Suicide Prevention Month, and I'll go ahead and pass it on to Councilwoman Guillen.
And I invite Officer Peak to come forward. A proclamation in honor of National Suicide Prevention Week. Whereas suicide is a national and statewide public mental health problem, which occurs among all age groups and across all socioeconomic, racial, and ethnic backgrounds. And whereas suicide was among the 11th leading causes of death in the United States. And whereas in 2023, over 49,316 American people died by suicide, and many friends and family members were changed forever by losing those people. And whereas in 2023, there was an estimated 1.5 million suicide attempts, and whereas the stigma associated with mental illness and suicide works against suicide prevention by discouraging persons at risk for suicide from seeking life-saving help and further traumatizes survivors of suicide. And whereas suicide is preventable and it is appropriate for a week to be set aside each year to dedicate our thoughts to improving the mental health of all Bell Gardens residents and raising awareness about suicide. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council, do hereby proclaim September 7th through 13th, 2025 in Bell Gardens as National Suicide Prevention Week and encourage all residents to take the steps we must all take in looking out for loved ones, the people in our community, and those who have been impacted by this leading cause of death. Proclaim this 8th day of September 2025. Thank you.
And thank you for having me. As you're well aware now, September is the month for suicide prevention. And for law enforcement, this is something that touched near and dear to our hearts because on average, about 184 law enforcement officers in the United States die from suicide each year, which is a 54% higher rate than any other profession out in the general public. So on behalf of the men and women at the Bell Gardens Police Department, I humbly accept the proclamation. And it's just a good reminder that our city council is doing for not just us as law enforcement officers, but the general public, to let people know that you're not alone. You can always get help. There's always hope and support if you look for it. So it's good to just check on one another in the community so we can make sure, to prevent suicidal deaths. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Moving on to the next item, 6.1, City Manager. Oh, let me go ahead and open the item. I will open public hearing at 6:22 PM. City Manager, please introduce the next item.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. This item is a consideration of ordinance number 959, adopting a military equipment use policy as required annually by Assembly Bill 481. We'll turn it over to Police Chief Camacho to provide additional information. Thank you, Mayor.
Team De La Rosa and members of the City Council. Tonight's presentation is going to be presented by Lieutenant Frank Garcia.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, everyone. My name is Frank Garcia. I'm lieutenant here at the Bell Gardens Police Department. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about AB or Assembly Bill 481. Assembly Bill 481 is requires that law enforcement be transparent with regards to using a certain type of military equipment. The intent of 481 is not to prohibit the use of it, but it's to rather is to make sure the community knows what tools we use, how we use them, and why it's important for public safety. By adopting this ordinance, we'll do three things. We'll comply with state law, we'll provide transparency to the public, and provide trust, ensuring that the practices are clear and accountable. In short, passing this ordinance allows us to continue using the necessary tools to protect the community while demonstrating openness, responsibility, and how we operate. So without further ado, we'll go to the presentation. So the goals of the presentation is to outline and explain the current use of military style equipment that we use, to describe the needs and importance of the equipment, and to provide the council with a copy of an annual report in accordance to Assembly Bill 481. Aside from transparency, it also requires that law enforcement agencies obtain approval for from the governing body by adopting a military style equipment use policy. Why is this equipment important? It's to protect and safeguard the community, to de-escalate and bring safe resolution to critical incidents, and to properly equip our officers to perform their jobs. Without these tools, our ability to respond to emergencies would be limited. There are 15 categories of equipment that are defined by state law. Just to clarify, not all of these are in use by our department, but the law requires that we define and report them. We don't have tracked armored vehicles. We don't have 50 caliber or greater ammunition or firearms. Here again, we define and report this equipment for the sake of oversight and reinforce the community and to reinforce our community's trust. Drones. We currently have 8 drones, and these are some of the uses that we have for them. Collision reconstruction, monitoring large crowds, search for missing persons, patrol lead investigations. I'll share a quick story. Across the street not too long ago at St. Gertrude's, we were able to use one of these drones when we were unable to get a hold of a helicopter because of the inclement weather. We were able to shoot that drone up and found a burglar that was trying to break into the church over at St. Gertrude's. So they're very beneficial to our first responders. We have 1 Cayman armored personnel vehicle. And again, to clarify, it's not a military assault vehicle. It's simply a rescue tool. It's used to safely transport officers and civilians in dangerous situations. Specialized firearms and ammunition. So we're one of the only agencies in the Southeast area that is able to equip all of their first responders with a precision rifle. And it's very important because, God forbid we have a school shooting, a shooting at one of our churches or our senior centers. Our true first responders, our officers that are on patrol, are currently properly equipped with precision rifles, the training, and have all of the necessary tools that they're going to need in the event that they have to address an issue. Diversionary devices, explosive breaching tools. So diversionary devices in conjunction with the breaching tools are used as distractions to safely gain entry into a location. These tools are used to distract and safely gain entry into a critical incident. These are about safety, control, divergence, not escalation. These are currently the chemical munitions that we have. Again, to clarify, their purpose is to disperse and control dangerous situations with the least amount of force possible. Projectile launch platforms and associated munitions. These are images of some of the type of launchers that we have. As you can see, the shotguns are clearly marked with the orange buttstocks. That blue tip around there is a sponge round. That's a beanbag round that's off to the right of that. And that launcher is what's used to launch that blue projectile. These are designed to provide less lethal alternatives when force is absolutely necessary. So the deployments. We've deployed our drone 10 times and our armored vehicle 4 times. We're very cautious and responsible when it comes to the deployment of these tools. None of these tools are deployed without the authorization, knowledge, or approval of our supervisors. And every officer that is deploying this equipment is properly trained in the use of these tools here. So I'll draw your attention to this slide here. I just talked about how a supervisor oversees the deployment of these tools. We're very proud to convey that we don't have any complaints, and I think a lot of it has to do with not only the proper training of our officers, the restraint, but also the supervision that we implement. It is because of that I believe that we've minimized the level of complaints, and as you can see, it's none. So the resources, I think you all have copies of our policy, our annual report. If not, I encourage you to get on the website, and it's posted on there. In closing, again, each piece of equipment is crucial for the department's ability to maintain public safety. The adoption of this ordinance keeps us compliant with state law, transparent with our residents, and prepared for emergencies. We respectfully ask for your support in passing this ordinance. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much for that, Lieutenant. We'll go ahead and go to the next portion. We will now move on to council member questions or comments. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and we will now open public comments on this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council will now have members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on public hearing item 6.1 as listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Any callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time, excuse me, by dialing *9 from your phone. When instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature and select unmute or the microphone icon when instructed. We didn't receive any public speaker cards and any written comments. And we have one person joining virtually, but their hand is not raised.
All right, thank you so much for that, City Clerk. There's no objection to the members in City Council. I will close public participation for public hearing item number 6.1. All right. Before I move on to closing public hearing, is there still no questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, I will go ahead and I will close the public hearing at 6:32 p.m. and move on to the last portion, which is, may I have a motion to waive the full reading and introduce ordinance number 9.59 by title only, adopting a military equipment use policy in accordance with state law.
I move.
I second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. Francis de Leon Sessions and Sanchez, and a second by Councilwoman Guillen. Let's do a roll call. I think we have to do a roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Barsina? Councilwoman Guillen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Yes.
And Mayor Chavez?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. And we'll go ahead and move on to our public participation on non-agenda items. City Clerk, please announce the instructions.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items not listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record, excuse me, before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes, subject to an overall 30-minute period. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We will first hear from speakers that are in person, and we did not receive any written comments. However, we did receive some distributions that have been passed out to the full council.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. I'd like to call up Jose Vargas, please.
Hello, Mayor, Council, members of the Council, staff. My name is Jose Vargas, resident and post commander of the local American Legion here in Bell Gardens. I'm here in behalf of the American Legion here in Bell Gardens. We've been here 86 years. I got pictures in our post, which is across the street from the casino, taking us back when Bell Gardens was nothing but like farmland. Anybody's welcome, you can come by and see them. Throughout those years, Bell Gardens has seen a lot of change, and the American Legion has been a presence in our community the whole time. Okay. We're committed to supporting Bell Gardens veterans, their family, and the wider community. Our post had hosted events from quinceañeras, funerals, weddings. Ever since the ICE raids, our business has been zero. We're pretty much almost ready to close the post now. And I would like to invite everybody here. You don't have to be a veteran. Come take advantage of what we have to offer. Our building has seen a little bit of remodel. We all pitched in, we remodeled a little bit. Anybody could come by, hang out, have a drink. And once again, we're across the street from the casino. You can look us up on Instagram, American Legion Bell Gardens. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for that. I'll go ahead and call up Herlinda Chico. Sorry about that. Herlinda Chico. There you go.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I am Herlinda Chico from LA County Fire Department Community Services Liaison. I'm pleased to share 2 really important and empowering programs that we have coming up. I've set aside flyers for you at your desk. The first is a CERT program. So CERT is the Community Engagement Community Emergency Response Team. This program provides residents a FEMA-approved training free of charge. It empowers individuals to care for themselves, their families, neighbors, and coworkers in the event of a disaster when professional responders may not be immediately available. The training is 20 hours long. There is a graduation afterwards. This is a significant training, and it's really, really important for our residents to learn just some of the basics. And what they'll learn is disaster awareness and preparedness, fire safety and suppression techniques, basic medical operations, including triage and first aid. They also show you how to use a tourniquet, which is incredibly important. They do light search and rescue methods, team organization, and disaster psychology, which is incredibly important. When you're in a disaster, you have to be able to maintain that presence. Terrorism awareness, and finally a hands-on review or a tabletop exercise to finally implement what you've learned. And we're offering this training in Spanish, entirely in Spanish. So each year, our division, Division 9, gets 2 CERT trainings. This particular CERT training for Battalion 3, which is where Bell Gardens is in East LA. So you'll see that it's in East LA. I talked to Hannah Lee, who has been busting me about getting a CERT class here. So I'm working on that. She's been really on top of it, and I really love working with Hannah Lee. But we're looking at bringing a CERT class here next year. But in the meantime, there's this opportunity for an in Spanish, entirely Spanish training. The second program that we have is our Girls Fire Camp. And so we do this biannually. It's scheduled for October 4th, but registration has already begun. It opened on September 6th. But it offers young girls a hands-on, immersive opportunity to learn about fire safety and explore careers in fire science in the fire career service. It encourages youth, especially girls, to consider public safety careers, builds confidence through exposure to real-world fire service environments, and advances equity. So it's really important. I've emailed all of this information. You can get it out to your residents. There's a social media kit. And as always, you're more than welcome to give me a call if there's any questions. I hope you enjoy your little first aid kits that I left there as well. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that, Linda. And quick shout out, proud Lancer right there too. I love that. I love that. We love to support our Lancers. All right. Going on to Mr. Enrique Vega.
Good afternoon, everybody. Enrique Vega, 6320 and a half Gotham Street here in Bell Gardens. I've been a resident there for almost 20 years now. Just coming to thank the city council, thank the city of Bell Gardens. I'm here today representing the Basin Bombers Social Club. It's something that I started with my compadre, Carlos, about 3 or 4 years ago. And previous to that, we had an idea or kind of a crazy dream to have a Viva Las Vegas type event. I don't know if any of you know what the Viva Las Vegas event is that takes place in Las Vegas, but it's a custom car and vintage clothing festival. And so we wanted to have something like that here in Bell Gardens. You know, we just discussed that on our own, and then we brought the idea to the city of Bell Gardens, and you guys have been great and very instrumental in helping us put that show together in partnership with the Sela Kiwanis. Last year, we were able to raise $17,000 in funds for local, well, specifically earmarked for Bell Gardens youth. This year, the show is coming up. It's on October 4th on Saturday at Fort Park. We got a lot of good feedback last year, and we were getting a lot of good feedback this year. A lot of the clubs are excited about coming out, and we're hoping to grow the event again, to you know to bring in some resources for some of our local youth. The event is free to attend, so it's also an opportunity for Bell Gardens residents to get out of the house, go see some cool cars, go see, listen to some cool music, and just have a fun day at the park. So we just wanted to thank again, especially Liz Nava, Armando, for all the help, Councilwoman or Dr. De Leon Sanchez, for helping out, helping us put together. They're part of our organizing committee. And it's just, we're very appreciative of all the work and the support that we've gotten from the city. And hopefully, we look forward to being able to continue this, a year in and a year out. Thank you.
For that comment, I'd like to call up Mr. Joshua Barron.
Hi. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and
council members. It's an honor to be here today with you. My name is Joshua Barro, and I'm the president of the Sela Kiwanis, also vice mayor for the city of Southgate. So, of course, it's an honor to be on this side and be able to speak to you here today. I really want to first start off by saying how grateful I am to be part of the Sela Kiwanis. When we started this organization, it really became a passion project of a lot of individuals who said, if one city is doing good, the neighboring cities will also do better. So it's one of these great feelings when we're able to do some good in the community. And one of those projects that we are currently working on, like my colleagues spoke prior, is the Bell Gardens Car Show. And I think that this is one of those events where we had a great community impact. We had some great leaders in your own city. Liz stepped up and was really instrumental in helping us be successful in that. Also, Chief Camacho, thank you for your help last year doing that event. This is a way for our city or your city to be able to shine and really show what that park, Ford Park, is so great location for community gathering. We put some old cards there, some music, and out of all that, 17,000 was able to be raised. That's specifically earmarked for the students here in Bell Gardens. My wife is a graduate of Bell Garden High School, so when I have an opportunity to be able to give back to the community that she's from, I'm going to make an effort to do so. So I think this is a really great program that we were able to put together, and we're looking forward to this continued support from the city of Bell Gardens. And just know that I will always be here to support it as well. I think it's a great asset to the community. And if you weren't there last year, I invite you to be there this year. It was a great event, a lot of fun, and the cars were just gorgeous. I thought it was pretty ambitious to say that we wanted, prior to 1965, I think it was, cars, but we actually had a pretty good turnout. Also, just to follow up on that, on September 30th, the Sela Kiwanis is putting together the College and Career Fair for students in the Sela region. So please, if you have any connections with the local high schools in your area, let them know to follow us on selakiwanis.org or our Instagram, and they can get information of all the colleges that are going to be there. We have over 25 colleges and workforce development groups that are going to be there specifically to provide information to high school students. So it's another great resource. We're hoping that continue to expand that. There's scholarship opportunities for students to sign up for the program. So just a lot of good work that our city, our organization is doing for the Sela region, and we hope to continue that. But thank you very much for the time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Mayor. And now that you're here, might as well talk about Garfield and the entrance. Not just kidding, everybody. But we do need some work on that Garfield side in Southgate. Just saying. Right, Bernie? I'm kidding. But anyways, if there's no more comments, I will go ahead. If there's no objection by the members of City Council, I will close public participation for non-agenda and open it for agenda. City Clerk?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the agenda. Please state your name before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We didn't receive any public comment cards or any written comment cards, and no one is raising their hand virtually.
All right. Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by members, I will close public participation on agenda items. All right, moving on to the next item, external committee updates. Does any member of the council have anything to report out?
Yes, I do. Last week, along with the city manager, we attended the COG retreat at Catalina Island, where all cities, the 27 cities that are part of the COG, get together to discuss the different projects that are coming up. One of the bigger projects for us here in the city is the broadband project. We are part of phase 2. They already started phase 1. So phase 2 is Bell Gardens. And in that phase, we're along with Commerce, Maywood, Bell, Cudahy, Downey. Phase 1 right now is Southgate, Linwood, Compton, and Paramount. What that is that it's going to bring a fiber network to City Hall. And so we're going to have faster internet for City Hall, and then we get to decide as a council how we may utilize that throughout the city, if we're gonna go ahead and distribute it across other areas. The other fun thing that we talked about was that we have two major events coming, which is the World Cup and the Olympics. And so as a region, we're figuring out as a trial run, instead of having official World Cup viewings, we're going to have something called a fun zone. Why is it going to be a fun zone instead of a fan zone? There are licensing and copyright issues when you use the logo for the World Cup or the Olympics, and it's very costly. The city of LA are doing certain things already, so we're trying to, see what we can do here as a region. One of the conversations that has been in the talks already is between us and Cudahy getting together and having a fun zone for the World Cup. And then, that's going to be a trial one for the Olympics. So I'm excited to see what's going to come of that. Later this week, I will be meeting with the JPA. We did have our reorg there, and I was named the chair. So I'm now the chair of the JPA. And as you guys know, the biggest issue with this right now is trying to protect our card rooms from the ongoing lawsuit with the tribes. And I will keep you guys posted with any new information that comes.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Dr. Francilone Sanchez. Anybody else have anything else to report out? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
quick update from Hub Cities. Everything remains the same. The only big change right now is that we don't have an executive director anymore. We have an interim executive director slash consultant that is helping us out temporarily before we secure the new executive director. And it was mostly due to the retirement of the former executive director that, he decided to basically end his work with the Hub Cities. But that's the only major announcement.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for that, Councilman Barcena. All right. Thank you for those updates. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to report out. League of Cities, we have our annual conference coming up next month. Almost actually a month from today. It'll be here in Long Beach. I encourage everybody in the council to go. It's a really, really great conference. And it's going to be, again, locally here. Usually they'll take turns. Sometimes they do it in Sacramento, sometimes they do it here in the big one. This is the annual one. So there's an expo. I believe the city manager and I will probably be stopping by for a little bit. But it's a really great one. So that'll go ahead and wrap it up for me as well. All right, moving on to city manager report.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. Just want to remind everybody on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. we have an open art studio available at Veterans Park. On Fridays, we have the resident art and yard sale at Veterans Park from 11 to 3:30. We have that even on nights that we have events. So this Friday, we have an event starting at 6 o'clock with the resident art and yard sale. Will still be going on. On Tuesday, August 26th, we did have another virtual immigration workshop. Monday, September 1st, City Hall was closed for Labor Day. On Friday, September 5th, the art and yard sale. So last Friday include the free farmers market. So twice a month, the art and yard sale also includes a free farmers market where you can go and get free vegetables and fruit and whatever they have available at that particular moment. This Friday on September 12th, we're back to having our first big event at Veterans Park. It's at 6 o'clock. It's the El Grito Fiestas Patrias event. It starts at 6. It normally ends at 9 o'clock. We have an extra hour this year. People are still looking to dance a little bit more at 9 o'clock, so it's going to push into 10 p.m. This year, which is right at the limit of our noise complaint ordinance.
Like, you weren't supposed to share the part that I like to dance an extra hour.
That was at the mayor's request last year, as staff recalls. So.
We have a great time with the banda,
Yes, for sure.
Bell Garden likes to party.
So and then on Friday, September 19th, is the next art and yard sale where we will have a free farmers market. And then I always just want to call out the items on the consent calendar. We have a subdivision of a residential lot into 4 condominium parcels, so that'll allow for some home buying opportunities for Bell Gardens or other residents that want to move to Bell Gardens. The purchase of grant-funded PD vehicle, some radios for other vehicles, acceptance of the demolition of the Ford Park East restroom, also known as the Sunshine Building, as being complete. So if you see over there now, there's a concrete pad, there's a new restroom coming, and there is programming that was started about 2 or 3 years ago that occurs at Ford Park. It just obviously doesn't occur in that Sunshine Building anymore. And then finally, there's just two items that recognize the efforts of staff. And also, just want to say thanks to the council for being supportive of trying to maintain a sustainable healthcare program for the employees of the city of Bell Gardens. So with that, I'll thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for that, City Manager. I'll go ahead and move on to the next item, consent calendar. Any member of the council wish to pull an item for separate discussion? All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
Move to approve item 11.1 to 11.10.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. Vanzelon Sanchez and a second by Councilmember Barcena. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. All right, moving on to the next item, 12.1, local commissions appointment. Did any member of the council have to wish to switch, add anybody to the commissions? All righty then. Moving on to the next item, 12.2, September 2025, update on John Anson Ford Park Regional Aquatic Center Improvements Project. City Manager? Oh, or I think it's, I don't know. 12.2, I think that would be Director Nava or Director Brin.
So just a quick statement even on the aquatics before we get the update. Obviously, if you watch our social media or you drive past the Ford Park, you'll either see that the parking lot's being redone over the last couple days, and you'll see that there's water in the swimming pool. So if anybody thinks that nobody's going to be swimming in there, it's not going to get done, it's way too late to say anything like that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Director Nava and Director Iniguez to provide a presentation and update.
Thank you, Mr. O'Kelly. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. This should be our last quarterly update, so it's bittersweet for us here at the staff level. We're getting really close. So with that, as we've done with every previous quarterly update, we'll go over some of the conceptuals, how this project was visualized. So here we see the front of the aquatics building. On the left, we have the 50-meter competition pool. On the right, we have the therapy pool. And here we have the activity pool. On the left, we have the fitness room, and on the right, the breezeway showing the lockers. Here we have the terrace grass seating. And finally, here's an aerial conceptual of the entire facility. Going into the background, back on January 22nd of 2024, the City Council did award a construction contract to Bernard's. That's our prime contractor for the project for a total amount of $26,334,000. On May 24th of that year, the contractor completed the remediation of the asbestos and lead-containing materials that were at the site. On July 5th of that year, they completed the demolition activities, and then finally on July 8th, 2024, Bernard's commenced the construction activities. So for the last quarter, I'll go over each discipline as to what they have completed. So RJM is our designer of record, or architect. And over the last 3 months, over the last quarter, they reviewed the project submittals and requests for information. They participated in the weekly construction progress meetings, and they also made plan revisions as necessary. Ardura, which is our construction management and inspection firm for the project, conducted the construction inspections. They coordinated the weekly construction progress meetings. They coordinated meetings with the utilities for the connections to the new facility. And they also routed project submittals and requests for information either to the city and or to the architect for review. Now I'll go over the items that have been completed over the last quarter by Bernard. So there's quite a few. So over the last quarter, Bernard's completed the installation of the entry monument sign, the main electrical low voltage conduits, the wall tiles in the pools and the locker room areas, the glass panels in the pool lobby area, the main 6-inch water lines for the facility, the aluminum storefront system framing, the hollow metal doors and hardware, the plumbing fixtures in all of the restrooms, and also the concrete paving or the pool decking around all 3 pools. Bernard's also completed the installation of the pool tiles in all 3 pools, the telescopic automated door in the main lobby, which will function again as our ADA or disabled person entry as well. The installation of palm trees on the north side of the aquatics building and also behind the amphitheater. The installation of the perimeter fence panels, the painting of the interior walls and ceilings, the lockers and benches in the men's and women's locker rooms and also on the breezeways, and also the installation of the bleachers. Bernard's also completed the installation of cabinets in the lifeguard room and in the break room for staff, the flagpole, drinking fountains, the fire alarm devices, the toilets and shower partitions in both locker rooms, all electrical connections for the pool equipment, the pool lights, the parking lot lights, and also the ceiling panels and rubber tile flooring in the fitness room. And finally, Bernard's also completed the T-bar ceiling tiles, the flooring in the lobby and the administrative offices, the concrete sidewalks and walkways throughout the perimeter of the facility, the palm tree lights and speakers, the shade canopies, the pool plaster in all three pools. They have filled all three pools with water now. They also completed the installation of the lithocrete sidewalks. So lithocrete is specialized concrete with colored glass beads to emulate water. And finally, they also repaved the east parking lot. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show some of the construction progress photos. So on the top left and right, we see some of the rebar for the concrete paving or pool decking that was gonna go in. On the lower left, we see the perimeter fence panels, and on the lower right, we see the front of the facility in preparation for the lithocrete. On the upper left, we see the installation of the lithocrete concrete, and you can see the bluish hue of the glass beads. On the upper right, we have the tiling that's going into the entry monument sign, and the bottom two photos illustrate the repavement of the east parking lot. Here on the upper left, we see the lithocrete also being installed in the lobby area. On the upper right, we see some of the drinking fountains, also allowing for ADA or disabled person use. And the bottom two photos show the locker rooms, which also illustrate the lockers. Here on top, we have the main 50-meter competition pool. So on the upper left, we see the pool being filled with water. On the upper right, we see the pool completely filled with water. On the lower left, we have the therapy pool. And on the lower right, we have the activity pool, all filled with water now. Here before you, we have a couple of aerial photographs showing the entire facility. This is right before the water was put into the pools. So we are getting updated aerial drone photos. And this will illustrate a time lapse showing first the construction of the building, followed by the pool area from an angle viewing the activity pool. The tentative schedule for the remaining construction items are minuscule. So on September 12th, we anticipate the completion of the installation of all trees, shrubs, and landscaping, along with the installation of the monument sign lettering. On September 18th, we anticipate the striping of the east parking lot. On October 3rd, we anticipate substantial project completion, and on October 10th, we anticipate final project completion. So with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Recreation and Community Services Director Liz Nava for the following slides.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernie. Good evening, Council. Just got myself set up here. Just a few slides to go over the Aquatic Center programming and kind of what to expect a little bit when we gear up for opening up our Aquatic Center. So just as a reminder, for the past 3 years, the city has had a partnership with the city of Montebello to utilize their Chet Hollyfield Park pool so that we could continue our aquatics operations. And it's been a wonderful partnership, and we're very grateful we were able to provide necessary swim lessons, life-saving swim lessons, and also rec swim for our community and our neighboring community as well. We're serving also a small population of Montebello in the city of Montebello at the pool that we're utilizing. So starting in October, we will no longer offer programs out of the Chet Hollyfield pool, and our plan is to start our 3rd session of swim lessons. So we have 3 sessions of fall swim lessons. The first 2 will be hosted at the Chet Hollyfield pool, and the 3rd one we will plan on hosting at our Aquatic Center. So we're really excited for that, and I think the community is going to love it. And just as a reminder, when I started here, the city received from LA 84 a grant for free swim lessons, and we started at $10,000 and each year has increased. And so this past summer, we received a grant for $25,000 for free swim lessons, which allows us to provide 825 free swim lessons to Bell Gardens residents. So we've been in contact with LA84 and they know that we're expanding. So we're really hoping to get additional funding so we can continue to provide more free swim lessons as we've expanded our capacity. So just really quickly, this table is going to reflect our staffing levels and our planned operations. This isn't finalized. This is just what the staff have planned thus far. We'll continue to finalize details as we get closer to the opening date. But currently we have 2 full-time staff, including myself, and 1 recreation coordinator to oversee the operations of the facility, and a team of part-time individuals who will do managing the pool and providing the swim lessons, lifeguards, but also recreation staff to do administrative work and locker room attendance, because all of that is going to be needed. So currently we offer swim programming Monday through Thursday and Saturday. We will determine the hours as we get closer to the open date, but we will be expanding our current programming. We will continue to provide swim lessons, rec swim. We will add in lap swim and water aerobics classes. And then of course we do have a fitness room, so we'll have that component added in as well. And as we are allowed to, we can offer community classes at our beautiful center. We have lots of space. So just as a reminder, the projected cost is approximately $2.7 million, and this includes all of the expenditures, including staff costs, as well as the operating costs, the utilities, supplies, equipment, and so forth. The estimate is for 10 months, and so we'll see moving forward once we're open the actual costs. So just as a reminder for the fiscal impact, the Aquatic Center project budget is $31.2 million approximately. The city received the following grants from various sources: the Land and Water Conservation Fund for $6 million. Supervisor Janice Hahn provided a $4 million grant. Former Assemblymember Christina Garcia provided $2 million, and former Congresswoman Roybal Allard received $1.5 million. The city's CDBG funding was allocated also for the past 4 years to this project to help cover what's called the soft costs. And then the city council had approved 14.6 from the general fund to cover the remaining balance and costs. So these are the current project costs to date. And Bernie, just jump in if I miss anything. But as you can see, about approximately $1 million for our design group. Our labor compliance consultant, about $224,000. $2 million for our construction management company, Ardura. The actual construction cost, approximately $26.3 million. $1 million in change orders, and then the remaining construction contingency, about $450,000, for the total project cost of $31.2 million. So with that, as Bernie had mentioned, after approximately 18 months of construction, we're finally looking to be completed with our aquatic center, and hoping to be clear and construction project complete by October 10th of next month, which is just over a month away. So we're really excited about that. Staff are continuing to finalize the details of the programming and the operation hours, and so we'll be bringing that back to council once that's finalized as well. So it's staff's recommendation that the city council receive and file the John Anson Ford Park Regional Aquatic Center Improvements Update Report. And that's it. Bernie and I are available for any questions.
Thank you so much to both of you directors for doing an incredible job walking us through that presentation. I'll go ahead and open it up to the council. Any members have any questions or comments?
Just have a comment, it's not a question. I just want to thank all the staff that was involved. I also want to thank former council members and current council members for all the work that, we put into this project that's finally becoming reality. The fact that it's less than a month away for it to be complete is like wild to me, because I never thought this project was going to come to its completion. So I definitely want to thank everybody that's been involved from the start to the end. So especially Liz and Bernie, I know you guys have done so much, so I really appreciate everything. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the council. I know that you guys are all very supportive of this project. It's really surreal to see it on the screen, on the social media posts. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Liz, for all the hard work that you're doing. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. I do have a couple of questions. In the staff slide, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a coordinator. Do you know around what percentage of that coordinator's time is going to be used for aquatics?
Probably about 99%.
99.
There might be some additional assignments that they're given, but their task will be primarily for the aquatic center.
Okay. I'm only asking, and I know everything changes, but during my time in the aquatics, they did have a supervisor assigned, and they were only using some percentage of that. But most of the work was done by pool managers, and also the assistant pool managers did a lot of the work. So just curious to know what it's going to look like. But thank you for providing the update. I look forward to digging into the details and hopefully adjusting to the demand, right? Because I do have a positive outlook on how much participation we're going to get from our community. I think this is going to be an amazing project that all of our residents are going to benefit from. But yeah, more to come later. Of course, I have a lot to say, but that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Councilmember Dr. Franzelon Sanchez and Councilmember Barcena. Isabel, Miguel?
Yeah, I want to thank Bernie, Liz, fellow council members, current and past. This is pretty surreal. It's very mesmerizing seeing the time lapse, go about. It's exciting. All I'm wondering is like, ¿quién se va a echar el primer clavado? Marco?
I'm gonna be in there with all of you guys, and you're all gonna jump in with me. So
I called it. I said I was gonna be on the Stairmaster in the last meeting. I said I was gonna do 100 push-ups. Like I already said it, so it's on
There
there.
you go.
And I challenged you.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
I like that idea better. Yeah. Thank you so much again.
I'd like to, Mayor, I think coming from as a resident and then being, coming on here, it's very exciting. And I want to give a special thank you to Marco. I know this has been a project that you've held close to your heart. And I want to say thank you because you were a strong advocate and you continue to be. And it just speaks volumes that it takes, a voice to be the one to speak out, because like now we're gonna be there and te vas a echar el primer clavado. No, tú.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa and Councilwoman Guillen. For my comments, I want to echo the same sentiment of my colleagues. And I want to thank Councilman Barcena for consistently always pushing the pool being top of mind, right? And I know that this is something that's very special to you because you actually were you used to go and you used to supervise the what it was, the pool, and then so it's exciting. It's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to seeing you echarte el primer clavado. You know, I'll go down the little slide maybe, and you know, I don't, but we're gonna have a good time and make sure everyone takes their swimming trunks and everything. You know, make sure everybody's pool ready, and maybe we'll even have a barbecue. We'll call up La Carniceria Meat Market. We'll have a good time. But anyways, thank you again, staff. Really, directors, you all have literally made a splash in our community. I know I'm sorry. I'm gonna, you know, we are gonna make generational waves in these next couple of so I just you know I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your work, and thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mr. Michael O'Kelly, for your leadership in spearheading this project. You've been with us almost approaching a decade, right? 6-7 years or so. So I mean, it probably feels longer at this point, right? But you've seen council members come in, you've seen council members go, and this has always been one of the projects. I wasn't there initially for you know when you came into the city, but I know Councilmember Barcena was part of that, right? And I know that one of the top of mind things for then the new council was we need a pool, right? And that came through Councilmember Barcena. So it's exciting. I know there's an accomplishment for yourself too, to see this project from beginning to end, and then the pandemic hits and this kind of, you know, I feel like it was just yesterday. I was a resident and we went to Ford Park and we were discussing designs, you know, for the park. So for the pool, right? And at first it was just going to be one pool, and it wasn't even going to be an Olympic sized pool, and it was just not what the community deserved. So the fact that we're making this sort of an impact, it's beautiful. So, you know, thank you again. Anybody else have any more questions or comments? Nobody wants to make any more? I'll stop with all these. Anyways. All right, is there a motion on the floor? All right.
To receive and file.
Second.
All right, motion by Councilman Barcena, second by Councilwoman Dr. Francis Delon Sanchez. All's in favor say aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. All right, moving on to the final item. And it's 7:14, which is great. So city council member comments, beginning with Councilman Barcena.
Just thank you again to the council. Thank you to staff for doing such a great job. And I just want to express my concern regarding the recent update from the courts and their decision to not continue to protect our communities against the raids. I just want to express that I'm very concerned, disappointed, and I want residents to know that from my end as a council member here, with the limited abilities that I have, I will continue to fight for our communities, and I will continue to do my best, trying to think outside the box, trying to think of creative ways, and trying to get ahead of these these challenges that we are facing as a Latino community, as a 97% Latinos right here in Bell Gardens. So that's a big priority for me. And I want the residents of Bell Gardens to know that I will be here for as long as I'm your elected official. And even if I was just a resident, I will be here for you. But I also think that the entire council is here for you guys. Rest assured of that.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Likewise, I think today was heavy due to the Supreme Court's ruling. But you know, we were here once, and as a community, we are here for you. We continue to be here for you, not just as council members, but as you know, as your representatives, as a community. We are here to support you. You can reach out to us. Again, I'd like to reiterate that we are here for you, to serve you. You elected us, and we will remain here for you. And again, thank you, staff, for everything.
Councilwoman Dr. Francis Delon Sanchez.
Yes, I just want to invite the community, especially the high school residents from all of Sela to join us for the second annual Sela Kiwanis College and Career Fair, which is going to be held on Tuesday, September 30th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Southgate Auditorium. And I will put that on my Instagram so that everybody has that information as well. Also want to welcome you to come to the car show October 4th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're still accepting vehicles to register. The pre-reg does end on the 12th, so later on this week. So please go ahead and register. And I do want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues. I know that it's difficult times right now, and we find ourselves in unfair situations all the time. Just earlier today, one of my teachers that works at my school was telling me the racism that she experienced at USC while she was dropping off her daughters because of the color of her skin. And just to hear what happened today obviously brings a lot of emotions and things like that. And so I think it's important that the community knows that we are here to serve you. We are here to help you in the capacity that we can. And like the saying goes, el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
El día de hoy la Corte Suprema tomó una decisión severa y para todos los residentes queremos que sepan que todos aquí, los 5 estamos para lo que sea. Pueden contar con nosotros, pueden contar con nuestro apoyo. Haremos todo lo posible para poder estar ahí a sus lados y protegerlos. Si tienen algunas preguntas o alguna duda, alguna queja, lo que sea, pueden contactarnos. Nuestra información está en el sitio web de la ciudad y también aquí en el City Hall también tienen nuestras tarjetas ah, con nuestros contactos personales. Así que sí. Other than that, I would like to thank staff for all the hard work. And again, I want to thank all my colleagues. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. I want to begin by first acknowledging last week was Labor Day. And I just want to say, Labor Day is very special to me, and I appreciate all the contributions from different labor groups in our history to be able to get us to this point, right? The 8-hour work week, weekends off, right? Child labor and all that. So I'm hoping that staff enjoyed that day off, and we had a great time at our parade out in Wilmington all the way to Banning Park. Everybody was there. Mayor Bass spoke, and really goes to show the attacks that our communities are going through. Want to make sure to point that, our labor groups are in solidarity with our immigration community, and we're going to continue fighting and supporting our neighbors day in and day out. On another note, I'd like to switch over and thank our Director of Recreation Community Services. I want to thank Director Nava and her leadership for hosting with her staff the Terra Bella Concha making class. And it's very special to see that there's programming now in the Terra Bella Senior Center. It's one of those complicated ones where, we have our seniors that live there. It's an affordable housing complex. And for the longest, I know that there's been a conversation about how can we support to make sure that we have programming in that. And I'm just so glad that now we finally had our first class this last week, and the seniors really enjoyed it. So I had requested that if we can continue having communication between us and programming. I think the name is Carmen. I think she's the one in charge of the activities there at the senior center, to continually having monthly programming at a bare minimum one time a month, that we do some sort of class at that senior center in collaboration with the organization. So again, thank you so much, Director Nava, for doing that, and thank you to everybody else in staff that supported that. Finally, I want to mention that we're going to have our big event, Fiestas Patrias, this upcoming Friday. It's perhaps one of my favorite events here in the city. It's a very special event to me personally as well. So we're gonna go out. We're gonna have a good time. And I know I've already talked to the city manager about this, but just depending on the situation, in terms of ICE enforcement, if things don't look good, as in there's begins to be enforcement the day of, the day before, or even Wednesday, I'm gonna request that we perhaps have to cancel the event. Unfortunately, similar to how we did the 4th of July event, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I know that there's been a lot of planning that went into this at this point, but to my colleague's point, it's not a good sight to see where the court siding with the administration. They're outright racial profiling Latinos, people who speak Spanish, and it's endangering, literally. So, it feels like there's a lot of emotions that go through, and there's only so much, and us as electeds, we're trying to do. I'll echo the same sentiment as Councilmember Barcena, that we're united and we're going to be out there if we have to. Having been out there myself, confronting these individuals, I'm going to continue doing as much as I can. And we have to just sort of be ready and prepared for whatever could happen, right? Maybe what if they're, keeping tabs on us and they say we want to go, and we're not gonna move on them any day before, but we'll hit them at the Fiestas Patrias event, right? And if that happens, what are we gonna do? Right? I'm willing to go out and continually confronting these individuals. I don't know what I'm going to do if they try to get me, or if they try to get my parents, or if they try to get my neighbors, or if they try to get any of us here. But I'm not just going to stand there and be in silence. And, I'm not calling anybody to do civil disobedience either, but we have to stand up and do something and protect our loved ones. Right? Because they're out literally coming, and it doesn't matter if you show them that you have documentation or not. And I know our police is sort of in this weird limbo too, but I would expect that our police department be there for our own safety too, right? Because at that point, we fear for our lives. So, I hope that when there is these suspicions, right, that there's enough evidence that they can back up and people can testify on our behalf and say that we are also citizens, and that we can also share that, our community, our loved one is also a citizen. Or where is the document that you have? Where is the signed judicial warrant, right, signed by the magistrate, right? So that's the ask that I have for all of us here, that we stand united, that we stand to protect our community. And it's going to be one of those where we're going to be in the moment and we don't know, right? We don't, if it happens, I can't imagine it. So let's just prepare and let's go in. We saw what they did in other parts of LA, right? I know that they're keeping tabs. I know that there are some individuals or other electeds in higher office that are being investigated by the FBI, literally. So let's continue staying alert, right? And let's continue being look out for one another. All right. With that said, if there's no more comments, there's no objection by the members, I will adjourn City Council's successor agency meeting at 7:24 p.m.